and you need to defend yourself all the time. As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. How can you now speak the truth when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're honest.
Melania Trump just dropped a $500 million legal nuke, and daytime TV will never be the same. But Greg Gutfeld, he didn't flinch. He loaded up with sarcasm and fire, tearing into The View like it was roast night at the Hypocrisy Comedy Club. While the mainstream media scrambled to clean the mess, Greg served the truth, raw, cold, and flaming. Suddenly, those smug hot takes on The View started looking a lot like lawsuits in disguise.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She's destroyed the Rose Garden.
Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to.
She doesn't care about that.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, how do you know?
People have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions? Yeah. Like you said, it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say in The View because without it, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. But the problem with her is that she went full racist. She injected skin color into a fairly generic behavior seen in all spouses.
Greg Gutfeld walked into his set like he'd struck comedy oil. And honestly, he had. Sunny Hostin getting hit with a $500 million lawsuit was all the ammo he needed. Greg looked like a kid on Christmas morning, if Christmas came wrapped in legal documents and liberal meltdown. No need for punchlines. The headlines were already hilarious. This wasn't news. This was gift-wrapped chaos, and Greg was ready to light it up.
Melania Trump is furious. The woman who wants to be First Lady is taking on several media outlets that she says printed false reports about her personal life. Now Melania is threatening to sue. Les Trent has the latest.
Hostin's obsession with race gets thrown back in her face. Today's video comes to us from Sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice.
With that mischievous grin, Greg dove straight into the absurdity. Sunny, the self-proclaimed queen of moral lectures, had finally poked the wrong bear. Melania Trump didn't clap back on Twitter. She went full nuke with a legal strike. No hashtags, no rants, just a $500 million statement in stiletto heels. If karma had class and carried a law degree, this would be...
Well, turns out she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from Europe. Here's how she took the news. Roll it.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Greg didn't hold back. He shredded Sunny Hostin, calling her the loudest person in the room who confused shouting with substance. Her holier-than-thou attitude had finally caught up to her, in glorious fashion. Greg reminded viewers, karma doesn't always trend on social media. Sometimes it shows up in court, wearing heels and holding a legal grenade.
How are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information. I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of others.
Then came the knockout joke. Greg imagined Sunny backstage frantically typing into Google, "Can arrogance be used as a legal defense?" He joked her lawyers were binging old episodes of The View like detectives, trying to figure out which smug rant lit the fuse. Greg smirked. Spoiler alert, it was all of them.
And then she bashes the company like they don't pay their workers.
Right.
That's like, so she's still like one of them, she's one of them. Oh yeah, but I give him extra money. She's so sweet, that Sunny. Paul, do you catch The View very often? Is it on your DVR?
Well, it's the view into what? Domestic hell? What exactly is it a view into? And who came up with the names, if you think?
And the irony, priceless. The so-called voice of reason, Sunny Hostin, now dodging a lawsuit like it's incoming fire. Greg called it what it is, a self-inflated ego finally popping under pressure. She built her brand on accountability, but the moment it came for her, she's hiding behind legal teams and fluff pillows.
Fact of life. Interesting change of tune. For more, we go to our chief Sunny Hostin correspondent for a reaction.
But Greg wasn't just roasting Sunny, he went for the whole circus. That applause-hungry, virtue-signaling bubble of daytime TV that turned every opinion into a standing ovation. He mocked how Sunny mistook claps for courage. She never saw the lawsuit coming, because she thought retweets were armor. Newsflash, they're not.
Maybe one day, when we finally strip away this phony race war, we'll finally expose this elite mentality. And we'll find out Sunny is just like Marie Antoinette, except she says, "Let me eat cake."
And then came the real twist. Melania Trump, the woman the media painted as silent and soft, hit back with a cold, calculated legal masterstroke. No interviews. No rage. Just precision. Greg admired the silence. No scream. No spectacle. Just a quiet signature that landed like a missile. That's not rage. That's refined power.
It's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Like it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. It's like it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase that.
Greg painted the backstage chaos like a movie scene. Panic meetings, forced smiles on air, and email chains labeled crisis mode. He joked Sunny was probably in front of a mirror, practicing her "I'm the victim here" look while her legal team begged her to stop talking. Greg nailed it. This isn't journalism, it's personal jabs wrapped in commentary. And now, the target's firing back, with compound interest.
Then I blame women. White women in particular. Right, Sunny?
I think that women, white women in particular, want to protect this patriarchy here because it's to their benefit. Yeah. They want to make sure that their husbands do well. They want to make sure that their sons do well. They want to make sure that their children do well. And they want to make sure that they do well. Most of the women in some of these studies are married white women, and they do fall in line with what their husbands are doing, how their husbands are voting.
Take that, people who say she's racist. You forget that she's also sexist.
He wasn't done. Greg peeled back the curtain on the entire charade. The exaggerated gasps, the fake outrage, the monologues dressed up as bravery. Greg scoffed. It was never real. Never raw. Never journalism. Just a character in a costume collapsing under the weight of real-world consequences. Even Hollywood, he said, is starting to notice the cracks.
Which means you can get fire logs, those big bounty towels you don't want to carry. Those from Costco. Somebody else those.
Fire logs? She had to tell the audience that she tips big because even she knows she sounds insufferable.
Greg came back swinging. You know how Sunny turns one sentence into a 5-minute lecture? Now she's twisting reality like a legal yoga pose. He laughed at the idea of her spinning this lawsuit into some civil rights crusade. You're not Rosa Parks because you got sued on daytime TV, Greg snapped. You're just loud, And now, you're legally liable.
This dame probably virtue signals on the toilet. But that's not the point here. While everybody else was trying to figure out how to survive as the government told us that breathing in public could kill us, Sunny was lolling around in her big house clicking on pictures of arugula while mixing Cocoa Puffs into her...
Finally, with a trademark smirk, Greg dropped the last blow. He pictured Melania Trump quietly signing the lawsuit. No noise, just nuclear precision. That's not fury, Greg said. That's elegance with edge. He laughed at the idea of Sunny trying to stage a soft-focus interview to reclaim her victim status. Newsflash, Greg smirked. When the applause fades and the lights go out, it's just you, your ego, and 500 million reasons to keep your mouth shut.